The 37th Annual Thurman Munson Awards, which remember the late, great Yankees captain and catcher, will be presented at the Grand Hyatt Hotel in New York City, and the honorees are New York Yankees sensational rookie catcher Gary Sanchez, popular New York Mets infielder Wilmer Flores, New York Football Giants Super Bowl champion wide receiver Victor Cruz, and Thurman's teammate celebrating the 40th anniversary of the 1977 World Series championship, shortstop Bucky Dent, and third baseman Graig Nettles. The AHRC New York City Foundation, which assists children and adults with disabilities, benefits from the gala. We're at the 37th Annual Thurman Munson Awards ceremony, which honors success and inspiration for players on and off the field. Thurman Munson was an American professional baseball player that played his whole career with the New York Yankees from 1969 to 1979. He was the catcher and captain of the New York Yankees until his life was taken tragically when he died in an airplane crash while practicing takeoffs and landings at the Akron-Canton Airport. Since then, his widow, Diana Munson, has kept his legacy alive with this fundraiser, which helps the AHRC New York City Foundation, and they help children and adults with disabilities. With this Diana Munson, here it is, 37 years. Tell me what you're feeling about that.
Well, first of all, I'm so proud and so honored that New York continues to love and honor Thurman 37 years later. But even more rewarding is the fact that we've raised so much money for AHRC in his name. So I think he's smiling, scratching his head, maybe going, why, but...
And tell our audience about the AHRC.
Well, it's the Association for the Help of Retarded Children, and we do group homes, workshops, camps, and I've gone to several of those and witnessed where the monies go, and I see the joy it brings, and I'm just so proud of it. And it's especially rewarding this year that some of Thurman's former teammates are here, you know, Bucky and Roy and Graig Nettles. It's very touching to me. I'm sure it is to him too.
And your family. Well, good luck, and hopefully we'll see you next year.
I hope so, God willing.
First, a Thurman teammate on the 77-78 World Championship Yankees teams. God, I remember him as with Brooks Robinson, the greatest third baseman I ever saw. And Wilmer Flores of the New York Mets was born in 1991, correct? So unlike me, he didn't get to watch Graig Nettles play, but he'll get to learn a little more about him tonight. So first, the great third baseman, 22 years in the bigs and one of the best clutch hitters, Graig Nettles.
Thank you, John. Thank you. It's an honor for me to be here tonight to help honor Thurman and the money he's raising for charity. He's got a great family. He was a great family man. He was a misunderstood ball player. People thought he was a gruff, not very friendly guy, but he was awesome in the clubhouse. He just, he liked his privacy. He's probably, if you think about it, he's probably kind of shy, that he didn't want people to delve into his personal life, and so he rubbed some people the wrong way. But as a teammate, if you wanted him in a foxhole with you, he would be the guy. He would be the guy I would want in there. So, I mean, I'm proud to be his friend and proud to be the friend of that family.
You know, I talk when I talk sports. We have a good Lord above, but not an influencer on the sporting events. But then there are the sports gods, lowercase G-O-D-S, and the baseball gods. So in the summer of 2015, this young guy thought he was going elsewhere. But there was interference by the baseball gods, and some x-rays didn't work out, and then he remained a Met, and we saw what happened after that with some of those great clutch hits that helped lead the Mets to the division championship and ultimately the World Series. So we're so happy to have him here, one of the real good guys in sports, and someone that you love to root for. Here's Wilmer Flores. Wilmer, say a few words.
Few words. Thank you. Obviously, I didn't get to meet Mr. Munson, but I read about him, and he was a great guy. And it's an honor to be here for me. And I just like to thank the Mets organization for giving me the opportunity to give back to the community. And I want to thank to Mrs. Diana Munson for the opportunity, and thank you very much.
Thank you. After 37 years, you pretty much know what I'm going to say. As always, it's an honor to be back in New York. It's like coming home. I think Thurman is probably scratching his head wondering how this can continue for 37 years. Obviously, he wasn't a favorite of the press, but I think New Yorkers figured out he was a good guy, gave back to the community, and I'm just so proud that we honor him in this way and that we honor the AHRC. We've raised a lot of money through the years. I think it's $15 million, which blows my mind, for an event that they said would only last 2 or 3 years, and it's going strong at 37 years. So it says a lot about the man. And I'm lucky to have some of my family here tonight. My son and daughter came in, my granddaughter. So I'm a little emotional because that doesn't usually happen. Obviously, having Graig here and Bucky and having some of the team back means the most to me because obviously there's real deep love here. And Ginger Nettles, my cutie, I thank you for being here. And thank you for covering. You guys make it wonderful every year, and you give us the press we need and Thurman the accolades that I think he deserves. So thank you.
This Greg Nettles. Now tell us about, first of all, playing third base and playing in Major League Baseball.
Oh, it's something you always want to do when you were a kid growing up. I said if I could ever, all I want to do is play professional baseball, much less play for the Yankees. And when I finally got an opportunity to get to the major leagues and playing for the Yankees, the greatest franchise in the history of baseball, I mean, it was quite an honor. I'm still so proud to have had the opportunity to do it.
How would you characterize the Yankees?
We were great. We were controversial. We were a great team. We had great tradition. I mean, it's just it's something that I always want to do, and I'll never forget the opportunity that I got.
Now, I'm from Cleveland area, and you were with the Cleveland Indians, weren't you? So, hey, give a little shout out. What was it like with playing in Cleveland?
You know what? I enjoyed living in Cleveland. I had 2 of my children born in Cleveland, but going to playing in that old ballpark down on the lake was just not a good experience. It seated 80,000 people, and we seemed like we get 4,000 or 5,000 people, and it was, but it was a way for me. I enjoyed playing in Cleveland because I got a chance to play every day. I was a part-time ball player with the Minnesota Twins, and I got traded over to Cleveland. I got a chance to play every day for 3 years, and I got traded to New York. So I'll always have a soft spot for Cleveland because they gave me the chance.
And tell me, I have 3 nephews, and they all try to, they're playing baseball. Do you have any advice for the youngsters coming up into this game?
Just enjoy it. It shouldn't be like work. When you're a kid, you have if you make it as a professional, then it's work. But when you're a kid, little league, high school, college, whatever, make sure you're having fun.
Having fun?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
With us, Bucky Dent. Now, first of all, Thurman Munson, how do you feel about receiving this award?
Tremendous honor. He was a teammate of mine, a guy that I truly respected. He was our captain. He was our leader. He was a guy that was just tough as nails, played hard, had a kind side and gentle side to him, that a lot of people didn't get a chance to see. But as a player, we got a chance to experience it all. And, to see Diana and his family and his son and to be able to accept the award in his honor is a tremendous thing.
And where were you at when the tragedy happened? And
I was actually in the Twin Towers. I just finished eating dinner, and I came down and gave the guy my ticket to get my car, and he looked at me and he says, "Aren't you Bucky Dent?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Boy, it's a shame what happened to Thurman." I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "You don't know?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Killed in a plane crash." And I was like, ooh, I kind of buckled my knees. I had to sit down on the car, and I didn't believe it at first, and then I think I cried all the way home.
You know, let's now go to 1978 and that home run hit. Could you tell our audience a little bit? Could you do a little replay of that? That's a famous one, especially my nephews are all playing baseball, so they need to hear this one.
Well, that's good, but next year will be 40 years. This year's the 40th anniversary of our 77 team, and that was a tremendous group of guys that I played with. They had great heart, and we came from a long way back, and we caught the Red Sox in a one-game playoff, and I was fortunate enough to hit a home run, put us ahead, and in one of the biggest games, still a classic game today.
And just to end this, what advice do you have to all the youngsters, teenagers, just like my nephews that are following and I want to go into baseball?
I tell them to enjoy the game. You got to have fun playing the game, and work. Baseball's not an easy game, and you have to work at it, and you have to spend a lot of time at it, and you have to be dedicated at it. But if it's your dream and you follow it and you go at it and you're dedicated and you have the ability, you'll make it.
Make it, make you earn less than you want to make.
Yeah, definitely, it's one of the hardest thing I had to go through. It was tough, but we felt confident about it, and we won it.
Is it easy to set aside the things they said?
Yeah, it was easy.
Yeah, because you won.
Yeah.
Has Terry spoken to you much about your role for this coming season?
No, not really. I guess it's gonna be like last year, just wait for the opportunity and play.
How excited are you looking forward to this season?
I'm real excited. It's I think we got everybody healthy and we got the pieces that we need. So hopefully they stay healthy.
The pitching staff as well, staying healthy.
Yeah. I'm talking about the pitchers. Our offense is gonna be there, so our pitching staff's gotta be healthy because we're based on pitching. You know that.
Have you been to the complex already?
What's that?
Have you been to Port St. Lucie already?
Yeah, I've been there the whole time. I got here January 10th, and I've been there the whole time working out.
I'm sure you want to play every day by this point. How hard is it that everyone's kind of back from last year, and you have to wait your turn?
Yeah, definitely. Last year was one of the hardest things I had to go through with with the utility role, but somehow I made it through. I made the adjustment that I had to make, and this year I'll do the same thing. If I'm out there every day, I'll take it. If I'm not, I'll just make the adjustment.
Why was it hard one?
Because your timing's not there. That's the key. If your timing's not there, as an offensive guy, your timing's not there, so it's tough.
Have you found any way to adjust to that and have your timing be ready when you're called on?
Oh, the only thing I did was more reps. That was it. And as the time went, I started playing more, and that helped me.
Were you a Yankee fan growing up, and if so, who was your favorite player?
Oh man, I was truly a Yankee fan growing up. I was a let's see. I can't pick them all as much as I like to, but Bernie Williams was my guy. I always wanted to be like Bernie, him, Derek. Those were the guys you wanted to emulate when you were younger coming up. So Bernie was my guy.
Talk about your going forward in terms of the New York Giants. What do you want to see happen?
For me, the goal is to remain in the Giants uniform, obviously, but I understand very much it's a business. So you just got to continue to control what you can control, and that's my personal health. And that's what I've been doing. I started training this week, and that's the only thing I can control is how I feel.
Have you talked to them at all?
No.
When do you expect that might happen?
Who knows?
How did things get left in the exit interview?
We didn't have one. I think through the time constraints, Coach Matt kind of, he canceled all the interviews. So I didn't have like an exit sit down with anyone. But we'll see what happens, I guess.
Do you want to go and talk to them at some point and find out, or are you content just to kind of wait and see what happens?
I'll just wait. They're gonna, they got to make decisions too, and they're gonna, come to us at some point, I assume, and we'll see how it goes.
What would your pitch to them be? Why they should bring you back?
There's no grand pitch. They've known me for 7 years. They know what I bring to the table, and they know, what type of person I am and all that good stuff. I don't need to. If I need to pitch them now, something's wrong.
Victor, are you happy that the Giants remain the only team to beat Brady and Belichick?
Shout out to Odell. I heard he said that at the during the his post game and pre game interviews and whatnot. And yeah, it feels pretty good. Obviously Atlanta was close, but they couldn't get the job done. But we want to obviously continue to be the only team to beat them in the Super Bowl. But we'll take that. But not taking anything away from Tom Brady. I mean, he's, in my opinion, the best quarterback to ever lace him up. And congratulations to him and the entire team on their well-deserved and much-earned Super Bowl victory.
What did you think of the Edelman catch?
Amazing. I mean, I've been saying this over the years. There's always been one moment, catch, drive, or just moment in every Super Bowl game that just turns the tide. And just, after that catch, it's like, all right, they're destined to win now. There's nothing that can hold them back. And that catch was exactly that.
Did you think that after the Julio catch, though?
Kind of. I mean, Julio, that catch was unbelievable. But you kind of think that, but, just the way, when you give the Patriots that many opportunities and that many chances at the plate, and that many, something good is going to come of it. So I think it was Atlanta's game to kind of close out, and unfortunately they didn't do so, and New England capitalized.
Every year you get further and further away from your Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Build the hunger? Does it diminish? How do you feel every year when you step?
I mean, that hunger built the minute I won the first one, and I was like, man, this is my second year. I could probably win a couple more, and then year passed and passed and passed. But you understand that's the nature of the game. It's just how God predestined your career to happen. But I'm definitely hungry. I'm definitely hungry to get back into the postseason, back into that Super Bowl conversation, and hopefully win another one before it's all said and done.
Fui pensando y decidí que era mejor quedarme con el equipo.
Did anyone with the Yankees tell you they didn't want you to play?
¿Alguien con los Yankees te dijo que no jugara?
No he hablado con los Yankees de eso.
I didn't speak to the Yankees about that.
What does he know about Thurman Munson? What does it mean to him to get an award?
¿Qué tú conoces de Thurman Munson y qué significa para ti recibir un premio a nombre de él?
Bueno, significa algo muy importante que me hayan elegido. Yo sé que fue uno de los mejores catchers en la historia de los Yankees. Fue capitán también. Pienso que es un honor yo recibir este premio.
It's really an honor for me to receive an award in Thurman's name. I know he was one of the best catchers in Yankee history, a great human being, and he was a Yankee captain.
Do you have aspirations to follow in his footsteps and be Yankee captain one day?
¿Te interesa ser capitán de los Yankees algún día?
Bueno, vamos a darle el tiempo al tiempo, que decidan ellos, no sé.
Yeah, well, that's something that I'm not even thinking about right now. I'm just thinking about next season and trying to do the best I can. Let's see what time will tell.
I'm Kristal Hart. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching. And now, let's go to the world of track and field. We're at the Armory Indoor Track and Field here in Washington Heights, New York City. This is an invitational. We have high school, college, and professional athletes all here competing. We're here at the Armory. I'm an Ohio State fan, a graduate. First of all, tell me your name. I'm from the Buckeyes.
Terry Johnson.
I'm Brent Carroll. Dwayne Asimoto, a.k.a. Pocket.
And tell us about that event you just ran.
We just ran the 4x4. It was a pretty intense race, We're just trying to get back in the swing of things to get ready for Big Ten championship and for outdoors. And we're still getting back in the groove of things.
Yeah, it's a good experience getting as many races as you can, being a freshman and everything. It's just great to be a Ohio State Buckeye.
It's good. It's my first meet as a Buckeye, so I'm just getting used to being in D1 and all this new stuff. So I'm just happy to do the race with my guys right here.
Well, congratulations, Buckeye, and I'm going to give you a test. When I say OH, what do you say?
I-O.
OH?
I-O.
Thank you. With this, Chad Zhao from 60-meter hurdles. Excellent job, #1 winner. Tell me about that performance.
Coming in here, I was really excited. This atmosphere is crazy, so I always knew I was going to run a good time. This is actually my 4th time being here from high school up to now, and so I was excited about running, and I knew I was going to run a good time today.
And Chad is from Youngstown, Ohio. I'm from Warren, Ohio. They're 2 cities right next to each other. Now, did you hit any of the hurdles?
I actually didn't. I don't think I did. Usually when I run through a race, it's a blur to me, but it felt like a clean race, and I'd imagine I wouldn't have hit any with the time I ran.
And now, how do you train for this? And strength. I mean, that's wow.
A lot of it's strength. A lot of it's in the weight room. A lot of people don't realize weight room is a big part of this. The 60-meter hurdles, it's all power and explosion. So I do a lot of plyos, a lot of weightlifting, and a lot of form work over the hurdles.
And now what's next?
Next from here, I'm going to Geneva, Ohio, back to Ohio. Big track meet, a lot of Big Ten schools there, a lot of D1 schools in the Midwest. So I'm going to do that and just get ready for my conference and nationals coming up.
Okay, well, congratulations. Great run.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for the interview.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Pretty even through the first mile, and Morgan had a gap, and no one wanted to go cover that gap, and so I was like, well, I'm not going to come here and run, 7:55, running a last hard quarter. I wanted to, push myself, and so, I tried to make up the gap, and I closed it up, but he just kept pressing, and so after that, I just kind of was racing for a second at that point, but it went okay. It was all right, I guess is the best way. Well, not this year. On the calendar right now, yes, but hopefully outdoor I'll be able to race a 3K or something. Yeah.
And tell us now, you got the Wanamaker Mile coming up. How do you think this will help you prepare for that?
Yeah, this shows I'm strong and shows my fitness is better last year. I ran 3:57.8 after running a 7:59 3K last year, so I don't know what I ran, 7:51, 2? Okay, 7:51, so roughly 8 seconds better than last year, and so, it shows that my strength's there and I'm ready to step down distance.
Any surprises out there? Anything maybe you didn't expect? Did you get off of?
No, it was great. It was pretty even pace for the mile. There was that gap, and I didn't want to be the guy to go after that gap, but no one was doing it, so I just kind of went for it, and I think it might have cost me a little bit towards the end, but I still felt like I finished pretty strong, so it was all right.
And this is real special because I am a graduate of Ohio State, and we have 3 ladies from the Ohio State track team. Give me your name and where you're from.
Chantel Ray, Hampton, Virginia.
And what did you run?
I ran hurdles.
Hurdles?
Yes.
Hurdles. And?
Christine London, Ellicott City, Maryland. I ran the hurdles too.
I'm Carrington Winters. I'm from Columbus, and I ran the 400 and the 4x4.
And ladies, first of all, tell us how each event went. How did your event go?
It went pretty good because I was off because I had a little injury. But I love the Armory because I ran here in high school, so I just love the atmosphere.
What type of injury are you coming off of?
A hamstring.
A hamstring?
Yes.
Okay, and tell me about your performance today.
I think I did pretty good. So it's just all about progress, so I'm just ready to move forward.
And what are you taking up in college?
My major?
Yes.
I major in sport industry.
Okay. Let's move here. Tell me how your event went today and your performance.
Well, as I said, I did the hurdles as well, and I think it went pretty well because last year I didn't do too well here, so this year I'm just happy that I made the finals and PR'd, and I just got to keep working, so I'm just happy with how far I made it.
And your major?
I'm in communications, but I'm specifically doing PR.
And lastly, tell me about your performance today. I ran the 400 yesterday, and it went really well. I think I could have done better, but it was a great run. So,
how'd you come up a little short? What could have you done?
I was really going for the win, but I got second, and I wanted to run in the 53 range, but I went 54 low. So, I could have done better, but it was still good. I can't hang my head too low.
And your major?
Strategic communication.
And tell me about your training, everyone, your coach.
It's very intense. Training's very intense.
Yes, always 24/7, leading up to the meet, everything.
Yeah, it's a lot of time and commitment, and your work ethic has to be really well, because like they were saying, it's really intense.
With us here at the Armory in Washington Heights, New York City, we have Deshaun Marshall, a Buckeye, 08.
I.O.
Oh, he passed that, I.O.
OH.
This was a 16-meter dash. Now tell us a little bit about your performance. You started out maybe a little slower out of that gate, and some people were disqualified. Do you want to give a rerun for our audience about what happened out there?
Yes, ma'am. I had a great athlete to the left from South Carolina, and I had a great athlete to my right from Wisconsin. Those are both really good athletes and both really good starters, and me not being the best starter. So I was planning to, kind of use them guys to help, accelerate my start. But, once those guys got DQ'd, I had to basically stay composed and, stay modest, with the gun and, make sure I wasn't the next one to jump. So, but I said it ended up, being pretty good. Like I said, I transitioned pretty good from about 20 meters to the end of the race. So, I'm very thankful.
Well, pretty good. I think you were like way out in front there, actually, when at that very end.
Oh yeah, I mean, my teammate got second too, so it's kind of like with that happening, it's kind of like a very intense practice session. So I'm very happy James Clark got second too. Like I said, I mean, I seen him out the corner of my eye, then I got comfortable again. So that's what allowed me to take that next step ahead of the competition.
Explain to us about being disqualified for a start.
It's pretty tough, especially you come into a big event like this, the 60-meter dash, you really got to be antsy and very quick and jittery. But like I said, false starting, it can kind of mess up your mental, and especially if you're in the rest of the field, it happens one time, you're like, okay, I got to relax. It happens twice, then you're the one that's like, okay, let me sit back in the blocks to make sure I'm not the next one. So a false start, it can kind of, hinder you mentally. But like I said, if you stay strong, up top, you're really going to be okay.
And so they just disqualify you?
Yes, ma'am. Especially they made a rule, I would say a couple years ago, that you false start one time, you're pretty much out the race. So like I said, I know before then you had a warning and then a disqualification. But yeah, nowadays they made it, one jump, you're out the race.
Now who's your coach?
My head coach is Karen Dennis, and my head sprint coach is Joel Brown. So yeah, those are the two coaches I pretty much work with mainly every day.
And what type? Tell us a little bit about your workouts.
It's very intense. Like I said, we have a really good sprint core. Like I said, me, James Clark, Dwayne Osamoto, and my fellow training partner Nicholas Graig, who you'll see with me in the 200 later. Like I said, it's pretty intense. Monday through Thursday. Until meet day. But like I said, we got a kind of speed endurance days. Speed days, Wednesdays we kind of do like plyometrics and med balls and stuff to kind of get our body like actively recovered. So it's pretty intense, and I love the environment though.
And are you living on campus in a dormitory, or are you in an apartment?
I'm a senior, so I live about 7 minutes away from campus.
Oh, okay. I lived in Steve dorm when I was there.
Okay, yes, ma'am. That's on 11th, right outside the basketball courts.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm forgetting. That was I was a Delta Gamma also. Are you in any of the sororities or
no,
fraternities?
ma'am. I try to stay out of that. There's nothing wrong with it, but just like with being in school, it's kind of like a full-time job being a student athlete. So I really try to manage and worship the time that I can get. So
what are you taking up as far as your major?
I'm a sport industry major. My minor is communication. So my graduation is May 7th. So I'll be kind of walking the stage and getting my degree from The Ohio State University. Coming here shortly. So yeah, I'm very thankful.
And then okay, so those are your future plans, and in track, what's next?
I don't know. Me and my coach talk about it. You always want to talk about the next level, but at that point, you just kind of want to go wherever life takes you. You don't want to press it too much. So you just kind of, I'm one of the guys, I just go with the flow. So.
I'm Kristal Hart reporting from the Armory here in Washington Heights, New York City. This is indoor track and field. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll see you at the track.